Alright guys, we're back here in one more week for another Ask Me Anything video, but this time I don't really care to answer a question. I want to talk about something that's kind of gotten a little bit of a heated debate here on Instagram. If you guys do follow us on Instagram, you'll know we post a lot of motivational picture, a lot of automotive, lifestyle, cars, watches, sometimes some of our old model pics, and just people repping third circle theory and also secret entourage. But one of the pictures we posted recently was a woman sitting in the driver's seat of an Aventador with her heels, and the caption went something like, would you let her drive it? Apparently that started some huge debate over with women, saying that there was just this one retarded chick that decided to take this to the next level on her own Instagram and started posting saying, I can't believe the crap secret entourage says, thinking that women cannot afford these cars. So first off, let's get something clear. Just because there's a picture of a woman in a car and she has like 7-inch heels on, and we're saying, would you let her drive it? It does not imply that we're saying she would never be able to afford it. Now, in most cases, now I understand that there are some women that do or can afford a Aventador, but in most cases, which is over like 90% of them, they don't, first off. Not that they can't afford them, but they don't buy them even if they can. Because the fucking Aventador is huge, it's hard to drive. Even myself being only like 5'7", it's hard for me to drive that car comfortably and feel very comfortable. So let alone a woman with 7-inch heels. And if there is one out there, I'm not saying there isn't. We've done many success stories with women that do drive them, like Amber Blonigan from GI Motorsports. And there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying they're not capable of driving them. So that picture was taken completely out of context. Now, regardless that like what some stupid woman thought, let's focus on the reality here of the situation, outside of the car and the woman. If as a woman, and this is to all the women entrepreneurs out there, all the women that do follow us, even though we are more of a male-driven kind of entity, even though we try to kind of include both sides, yes, we do lean more towards the male side. But that said, we do so because our audience is such, and not because there's just more guys than girls out there that take on entrepreneurship. But for those of you that do, and if you get really, really pissed off about a picture because it has a woman in it, and let's even assume for 1 second that you assume the absolute worst, and that's what you thought we were trying to say. Let's fix the way life. Let's talk about the way life works. Nobody gives a shit about your feelings, right? So let's just, this is the reality. Business doesn't give a shit about if you like or dislike something. There's certain things that you're gonna have to just accept are there. Now, you don't control what other people do. I just wouldn't worry about it. You don't need to be an advocate for the world and just go out there and start spreading shit about your thoughts and everything else. That's part of the reason why you're poor. To that woman that said, well, there's plenty of women that drive Aventadors, I'll ask you this. Are you driving an Aventador? And the answer is probably fuck no. So let's face the reality that instead of worrying about what pictures we post on Instagram and what women are ultimately should be doing and blah, 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 and all that bullshit, and you pretending to be an entrepreneur, why don't you actually go out there, earn an Aventador, and then tell me to shut the fuck up because you have one, and every other woman has one too. Until that happens, then perhaps you should focus on things you control, things that matter, like your own business, the way you're going out there and doing what you need to do to get what's yours, and also, at the end of the day, really focus on understanding that there's different perspectives out there, and that everything that's fucking out there is not geared to be like an insult to one type of person or another. Just because we said, would you let her drive it, does not imply that we are having or making an attack on all women entrepreneurs. We're fully supportive of all women that are entrepreneurs. We feature them. We want to see more of them. We've actually made many requests to have more featured. Unfortunately, there's not that many out there. And if they are out there, they're not sharing their story, which then perhaps you can be an advocate for that shit and go out there on their Instagram and ask them why they're not sharing their stories, so that way they can represent your cause. So at the end of the day, here's the lesson here. Don't worry about shit you see on the internet so much that you decide to devote a few days of your life worrying about it. Instead, worry about what you're doing to prove that what is happening is not right. So, and ultimately it's not true, and then prove that person wrong through your actions rather than your strong sense of words and responsibility for something that you don't really understand yourself. Thank you. So, for today's Ask Me Anything, I get a lot of questions regarding investing in other people's companies, and apparently, as Secret Entourage gets bigger, more and more people watch some of my earlier